Hi guys, today I want to talk about the 7 masculine traits that men should maintain. And the background of this is that masculinity has been given a bad name. We normally say that when you want to hang a dog, the first thing you do is you give it a bad name. So we're in a situation where masculinity is nowadays called toxic. In fact, the American Psychological Association, APA, in 2019, they included traditional masculinity as a mental disorder. It should actually be in the latest DSM-4. That's the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. So these are some of the 7 masculine traits that should be maintained, whether people think they are toxic or otherwise. The first one is that a man should be non-reactive. A man should be stoic. A man should not panic when things get out of hand. When the situation is going bad, when the shit hits the fan. A man should be non-reactive, should be calm and collected, should always remain rational. Don't get emotional, don't start crying, don't blow up, don't fly into a fit of rage. A man should always be non-reactive when he's dealing with issues, when he's handling situations. And that's a very important part of leadership. The Godfather, the Don Corleone in The Godfather, is a very good example of how a man should maintain calmness and steadfastness when dealing with situations. The second one is that men should resist oppression. In the past, when men were ruled by tyrants, normally the rebellions or the revolutions were actually led by men. So men should always stand up for peace, for justice, and for fairness, and resist any form of oppression or any kind of leadership that denies them of freedom. So men should always resist oppression. Okay, so that's very, very important. And men should also have standards. Men nowadays are shamed for having standards. When you tell that a woman maybe that she needs to get in shape, when you tell her you want her to stop posting thirst traps on social media, when you tell her you want her to stop hanging around with other men, you're told that you're toxic, you're narcissistic, you're misogynist, and so on. Men should have standards, maintain those standards, and even keep those standards yourself. Be in shape, be very clear in terms of how you're communicating, have your own standards, and keep those particular standards. So that is very, very important. The fourth masculine trait that a man should have is being decisive. A man should always be decisive when you're offering leadership, when you're in a situation that needs to be unlocked. Make a decision, communicate it, and act with conviction. Don't be indecisive, don't vacillate, don't dilly-dally, don't look like you're stuttering and you're unaware or unsure of what to do. A man should be very decisive. Accept when you make wrong decisions and learn from them. Don't be afraid to make decisions. The fifth masculine trait that men should have is to have a masculine attitude. And a masculine attitude is that you stand upright, you don't look down when you're walking. Have your shoulder and your head up, your shoulders held back, your head held up. You make eye contact when you're talking to people, and you walk with a lot of energy and confidence. You don't move like you're sick or in a slothful manner. You move fast and act with purpose. So that's very, very important. Have a masculine attitude. Don't be afraid. If there's a situation that calls for courage, you should be able to actually act with courage. And also men need to have a masculine physique. Men nowadays have been told that it's okay to be like a woman. Men don't have muscles. You find men who are just very soft, out of shape. They cannot burst a grape. Men who cannot lift heavy weights, men who are not physically fit, they cannot exert themselves, they cannot apply any kind of force, even when a situation requires it. So men need to have masculine physique, men need to be strong, physically strong. That's very, very important. And then also, lastly, men need to be very assertive and in control. If there's a situation that requires decision making, if there's a situation that actually you find things are happening against what you'd like to happen, you should be able to stand up and say no, bring things to a halt if they're not going according to your way. That is being assertive. Don't resort to passive aggressiveness when you see that things are not happening the way you want them to be. Okay? So those are the 7 masculine traits that men need to maintain in this world where masculinity is considered toxic. See you in the next one.